Because I know we're
Yes,
using. All right, that's good.
yes. I think it's coming through. Now I have to check and make sure it's coming through on the feed correctly.
Okay.
And then we'll get back into what we were talking about. I can't remember exactly where we left off. How's your short term memory?
My short-term memory is okay because this is to me it's all about
Mhm.
iPredator. But so just let me know where to pick off because I already have 300
Mhm.
new things I'd love to talk about. Um,
Absolutely.
is the feed coming through okay?
Yes, it sounds good. Debbie's in the chat room, says it sounds great. Debbie is
Okay.
one of the queens. Debbie, I would like to ask you while you're in the chat room and can hear me. Dr. Nuccitelli, with his cause here, basically exposing predators and so many other things, but that's the one thing that we're talking about tonight. He needs more exposure. So, would you consider him as a guest on your show? Yeah. So I think she's going to be good with that. She probably has more listeners than anybody on Spreaker that I know of. I'm not a Spreaker specialist. Like, I don't know, how the numbers really work, but I know she has huge audiences. And if she would have you on for interviews, and she'll be far more specific than I've been. I've been kind of vague with you. Yeah, she said she'd love to have you on. So
And I
that'll be
would
good.
be, and thank you. I don't have Spreaker
Mhm.
open because
Mhm.
I've got everything closed off other than Skype. So we were
Yeah.
able to make, but please tell her thank you and I would be honored.
Mhm.
She can call me anytime. And just like, victims out there are being targeted
Yeah.
is 347-871-2416. That is 347-871-2416. And
Mhm.
I'm here out of New York. Or, she or anybody who's being targeted can go to the website and just send me, through the contact us, send me an email. And
Okay.
I would be honored and thank you.
Now, you
Um,
just reminded me of something we talked about on the phone, how these trolls, the ones you've told, hey, call me, you got something to see? Tell me about it. They never call you. They have no courage.
in 4 years that I've been, because I used to be a pediatric practicing psychologist with a practice,
Hmm.
I have changed my career to go into cyber criminal psychology, iPredator, which I'll be doing for the rest of my life. To date, I have been called, and I can't tell you how many trolls, how many iPredators I dealt with. I
Hmm.
have been called twice in 4 years. Twice. That
Men of
speaks
courage.
Right. That speaks volumes to,
Hmm.
and now what I guarantee is, because I've said twice, guarantee I'll get a third. But
Hmm.
when you look at the numbers of trolls, of predators that, myself and others have helped to identify and have brought to justice, two.
Gosh. Hmm.
So, but thank you to Dad. I can't, as I said, to keep the Skype connection, I've got the speaker shut down,
Yeah.
but she's welcome to call me. But
Okay.
one of the things I'd like to, because I always like to provide solutions,
Hmm.
like what do good people do, that use the internet, that love the internet, which I'm one of those. I think I'm a good person. um, is the most important thing is personal information. I can't say it enough.
Right.
Is to be mindful of the amount of personal information that you disseminate.
Hmm.
Today in the information age, information, that's not real. It's not a 357. It's not a 9 millimeter. It's not a blade. It's not a baseball bat,
Hmm.
but it's lethal.
Yeah.
Information itself is lethal. So, in relationship to personal information, now celebrities and those good hearted folks out there that are in the public spotlight, it's
Hmm.
a little bit more difficult, but they can practice too. The first thing that I tell folks is be mindful of what you post and disseminate.
Right.
So, most of us, I spend my whole life in cyberspace now, is go to whatever your social media accounts are. So let's say, for instance, you have a Twitter account, you have a Google Plus, you have a Facebook, you have a Pinterest, your child
Hmm.
has Instagram, Snapchat, the new kid on the block is Keek. Is
Hmm.
go to all those social accounts and look at the personal information that you make available. because what predators do, if they're going to target you, they just don't go to just your, let's say, Facebook account. All right. They go to all of your social media accounts, and I call them breadcrumbs. And what they pick are details. Right. So let's say, for instance, Kevin, on Twitter, you post your, not your address, the city you live, Virginia, which you're doing here. But let's say on another social account, you mention the name of your wife. And on another social account, you have it privacy settings set to public. But in that Facebook wall, you mention that you live in this area, you deal with these certain. The amount of personal information you share increases the probability of you becoming a target. It's understanding that predators, and if they're good, and many of them are, is they do not just focus on one social account. They research you almost like me, a forensic investigator. They profile you. So they go to all your accounts, all your interactions that they're able to access, and they put all these little breadcrumbs together. And what happens when we put breadcrumbs together? We get a cracker. That's what they do.
Dr. Nuccitelli, that's racist, man. You said cracker. No, I'm just playing with you.
But you understand. You understand the philosophy. It is being mindful. Now, obviously, celebrities, it's a little bit more difficult because, most celebrities, we know where they live or roundabouts, but even celebrities, no matter where you are in the hierarchy of socioeconomic status, all people can be mindful of the personal information that they disclose and they disseminate. I'm not saying go paranoid. I'm saying just be mindful. So just take your top 5, let's say, social media accounts and just go there and see what are you disclosing.
Yeah.
It's now been about 6 months, and I didn't call Cockham, but I wanted to. I went to the deli to go buy, some coffee and a pack of smokes. Guy behind me, all right, and I'm talking to, the guy behind the register, very nice guy. His name is Jamal. I love him. He taught me about shaitan, which is the Islamic evil. We talk about that. So, guy behind me, and he says to me, what the hell's all this shit about? My 9-year-old's got a Facebook account. 9 years old.
Yeah.
I turn around to him. I said, "Excuse me, sir. Your daughter is 9 years old, and you allow her to have a Facebook. I know you do know there is a minimum age requirement of 13. I don't give a shit." And I was like, "Okay."
Jeez.
That I said, "Well, at least I'm assuming, not that I subscribe." She's not. I said, well, at least I'm assuming her privacy settings that are, friend zone, which is Facebook. I don't give a shit. I don't know didn't even know the privacy settings of his 9-year-old daughter who has a Facebook account. Didn't even know it.
These people, they don't know the risk, do they?
Not only did he not know it, Kevin, and this is where I got a little bit 9 years old. I don't even care. I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? That's when I turned around and started talking to Jamal again, got my stuff, and left and said, "Thank you, sir."
Oh, my goodness.
There are people that, for whatever reason, like an ostrich with the head in the sand, this is a 9-year-old child, Kevin. This is his daughter, not a 9-year-old that lives in a different state. I mean, not that I would support that. This is his daughter. And he's literally telling me he could care less.
Jesus. They just don't know. It's, head in the sand is one way to look at it. You were saying earlier that our culture today pretends there is no cyberspace, and certainly that they can't be victims of anything until it happens to them or somebody they know. Then all of a sudden, they're activists.
And what we're starting to come out, and this is another issue that I have with my industry of psychology, even though I'm Dr. Nuccitelli, a practicing licensed psychologist, is when the DSM-5 came out last year, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, 5th Revised, the Bible for psychiatrists, psychologists, medical doctors, mental health professionals. They have to use that. Well, there was a discussion to whether or not, when the DSM-5 came out, it's been out a year, to whether or not to include internet addiction. And there were two camps. There were those of us, which I'm in the camp of believing internet addiction exists. And then there was the camp that believed that there is no such thing as internet addiction. Mm-hmm. Well, if anybody goes and gets the DSM-5, they did not include internet use disorder, internet addiction. All you can find in the back of that DSM-5, anybody who goes, is in the back of the book is online use gaming disorder for what? For further study. So essentially with the DSM-5 here in 2014, they are not formally recognizing internet addiction as a psychopathology.
Well, they will, but when's the next edition coming out? I mean, it was DSM-4 when I was in school.
Well, usually they come out anywhere between every 7 and 15 years. I mean, I personally believe internet addictions should have been included. I do understand that, because the reason why they didn't want to include internet addiction is because there was no research at the time to show in order for something to be an addiction, well, this is where they're idiots, not to be judgmental, where they were saying, well, there's no tolerance. So like with a chemical addiction, whether it's alcohol, cocaine, crystal meth, even with behavioral addiction, true addiction has tolerance to where, progressively it takes more and more and more and more in order for me to be satiated for that addiction. And what they were saying at the time, we're only going last year, that there was no proof that tolerance does not exist. Hence, it's not an addiction. Meanwhile, at the same time, Kevin, over in Asia, South Korea, they already have what? Internet addiction inpatient facilities.
Yeah, I've read about that.
Yes.
Debbie says that there were over 700 doctors that petitioned for it to be included in the DSM-5, and she also said to tell you that there is a site where people can dox you with just avatar names and emails. You probably knew about that one already.
Yes, I do, but she obviously knows a lot about the state of the information age, and she is correct. But she, and see, as you had said before, what do we do? Point, just as I said to you in the beginning, Kevin, you talking about it, I can't see what Debbie's writing because I want to maintain Skype. Mm-hmm. She is another prime example of what we need to do. It's not just anonymous. It is proactive people such as yourselves that are willing to talk about it. And the fact that Debbie just said that, she's spot on. I should be calling her doctor too.
She'll be happy to hear that, I'm sure. She is a target on this network, I'll tell you that. And you can ask Debbie. I don't defend her. I don't get into this personal battle bullshit. These people want me to hate people. They want me to hate Guy Shea. They want me to hate Debbie Daly. They want me to hate News Guy. I don't have time to hate any of these people. They do shows. They do shows, and if they have a following, I'm behind them. Good, they have a following. But when they go out and seek to destroy the lives of others, when they haven't been prompted for anything like that, they just feel jealous, or they, I've had to deal with this my whole life, Doc. I haven't told you this, but I'm a tall dude. Uh-huh. So I've always been picked on by the short guys. They hate that. They can't fucking stand it. Like Rick. I mean, poor Rick, he can't get into the cabinets at his house. I know. He steps on his wife's back to get up there, but he never hits her. He makes sure to clear that up. Short guys have always disliked me. Now, it's not just that. Actually, when I was younger, I was pretty damn good looking. So guys hated me right away, and the women liked me. Now, I had the good fortune of growing up with 4 sisters who taught me how to treat a lady, and if I didn't do it just right, they beat the living shit out of me. But that was okay with me because the end product was that I was a gentleman that respected women, and that's one of the reasons when I went to divorce court, I sought out a female attorney because I knew she knew that side of everything. And that might have been a little sexist in my thinking, but it was pro-female sexist, that's for certain. And I don't know, it just to see people, oh, she left Rick's wife left him? Oh, okay. Well, I filed for divorce in my case because I found out my wife cheated. It was that simple. That was the one rule I asked that she not break because it defied all trust, and she broke it. And luckily her best friend came over and said, Kevin, I see you taking care of the baby. You're doing everything perfect. Your wife is cheating on you. And I got a lot more to tell you. And that's where I have to stop because that's where I can hurt my daughter. When too much information comes out about a parent and she realizes the truth, it's going to be a painful, painful day for my daughter. And that's hard for me, you know. It's very hard for me to hold that information back. But I know she'll want it. And